Yeah. Welcome to the match reaction video here on Latte Firm. Arsenal have beaten Real Madrid by 3-0. 3-0. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. What a game. What a night. I am exhausted. I've just got home, fired up the slides and thought, right, I need to chat to you guys. Welcome. It's been a long time. I've been away in Turkey on a family holiday, missed a couple of games, and of course, come back to tonight's insane game at the Emirates Stadium. And what a performance, what a victory. And it's only half time, but I have run out of all energy. I want to hear what you guys have to say about tonight's game. The performance, man of the match, shouts. Where does this rank in terms of Emirates wins in all-time history? Is this number one? I'll tell you what, it comes close. It probably is number one, but welcome to the show. Gosh, I'm just catching my breath. I am absolutely exhausted, and I'm so delighted that you guys are here with me. Declan Rice, stunning Real Madrid with 2 sensational free kicks. The first that he scored in his career, 338 games, and now he has 2 in 339 games. As we take a commanding 3-0 lead to the Bernabeu for that second leg next week. What a mouth-watering tie that promises to be. Welcome to the show. If you're tuning in for the first time, please do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get involved in the chat, and that is where we are going to head straight away. Let's go straight to the chat. Jonathan's first up in the house. Says, big up, FK. Nice to have you back. Thank you, my friend. It's been a long few days. My apologies for not making content for Fulham, for Everton in the run-up to the Madrid game. But here we are. We are back, and we are back with a bang. Only 18 around bossing the midfield. Joke, MLS, take a bow. So proud of everyone. Let's finish the job next week. Come on, you Gunners. Miles Lewis-Skelly is frankly absurd what he is doing on the football pitch. Look, all the way home, the sort of chit-chat in the crowd, on the way to the tube, on the platform, on the train home, obviously on Amazon Prime or whatever it was shown on tonight, Declan Rice, man of the match, because of 2 insane moments, 2 glorious free kicks, which we're going to take a look at shortly. But what Miles Lewis-Skelly is doing at 18, at this age, on this stage, is frankly ridiculous. I thought he was head and shoulders today. This guy is a phenomenal footballer. And listen, those of you that have been loyal to this channel over the last couple of years will know that I've been talking about William Saliba as being the best young talent that I've seen. And listen, he's still probably the best young talent in terms of longevity. But Miles Lewis-Skelly, my word, what do we have on our hands here? Jonathan, welcome to the show. V Vlad says, what an incredible fucking win. Best night ever at the Emirates. Tops even that Barca win. Atmosphere was electric. Come on, you Gunners. Atmosphere was absolutely sensational. I have been to the Emirates ever since the stadium opened. I've been in the same seat all these years, and I've seen some fucking awesome nights, some great wins, some insane performances from this team. But tonight has to be one of the most special nights. And you know what? I have to say, I just want to get it out. I know people are going to rip me for this, but like, irrespective of what happens in the second leg, you have to live for nights like this. Even if we were to go out, even if we don't go out and win the competition, you know, people are going to say, oh, loser mentality, this, that, and the other. No. This is why you enjoy live sport. This is why you follow Arsenal Football Club. This is, you know, these are what memories are made of. Nights like this are what you talk to your children about. I mean, it was a phenomenal evening of football, a tremendous performance, and one that I won't forget for a long time. Louis says, what was that match day experience like? Also, the Thierry Henry tifo was sensational. Did the goals go in at your end? All 3 goals went in at my end. Absolutely extraordinary view. I posted a picture on Twitter of my view of Declan Rice's first goal. Managed to get still somehow before the guy in front of me got punched in the mouth and started bleeding. And I hope you're all right, Seb. But the match day experience was phenomenal. I think, this is a bold claim, perhaps the best atmosphere I've ever been to, starting with the pre-match sort of fireworks and sort of light display and the Thierry Henry tifo, which was a complete surprise to me. The clock end sort of just unfolding, and it was magnificent. You know, Arsenal playing highlights of the Arsenal-Real Madrid tie back at the Bernabeu on the 21st of February 2006. That was elite shithousing from the media team. And the crowd were on it from the first moment. North London forever, the UEFA Champions League theme tune, the boos every time Madrid got the ball. Every throw, every corner, every free kick was celebrated almost like, not quite like a goal, but you kind of get what I mean. Atmosphere was sensational, Louis. Dave, Goodness73 says, unbelievable night. What a performance. Every single one of them stepped onto that pitch. Still feels like a fever dream. It was honestly sensational. 1 through to 11. Brilliant performances. We're going to talk about Mikel Merino as well, an unsung hero. Jurrien Timber. Again, we've been saying it weeks now, months now. What a player, what a performance from Jurrien Timber at right back. Saliba playing the game without Gabriel, his partner in crime, was a Rolls Royce, kept Real Madrid at bay, didn't let them lay a finger. Jakub Kivior coming in to play left centre back. Mate, this guy was under immense pressure going into tonight's game. He probably didn't sleep last night in anticipation in terms of eagerness and nervousness and excitement. What a performance from Jakub. I know it's only half time, but he's done so well. Miles Lewis-Skelly I've talked about. Thomas Partey. I know he divides the fan base, but again, a brilliant performance from Partey, I thought, today. The skipper came alive in that second half. Declan Rice, I mean, we're gonna eulogize about Declan Rice shortly. And then up top, you got Saka who's returning, and what a performance. I mean, had some scintillating moments in that first half. It was a bit more controlled, us going down our right-hand side. I felt like, previously when Saka was flying, we'd get the ball to the right-hand side every time, but it was like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 attacks, it felt like. And we used him perfectly, and he created almost, 2-3 moments of brilliance in that first half. And you could argue it's not being disingenuous to suggest that we could have won that by more tonight. And an unbelievable night, really happy. JK Miingo says, FK, wow, just wow. Louis says Rice is on corners, free kicks. I'd have him on pens and get him training long throw-ins too. The guy can do it all. What a performance, says JK. MLS, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to announce yourself on the biggest stage. Viggs, welcome to the show. Says one of, if not the best night of my life. It's hard to disagree, man, from a footballing perspective. What could top that? A night in front of your own fans. The weather was spot on. London, Emirates, nighttime kickoff. Real Madrid, the caliber they have in Europe. This is the world's best football team. Europe's most successful club come into the Emirates. And to be fair, they tried. They really tried. But we were unbelievable tonight. And I hope every Arsenal fan, irrespective of what is to come this weekend, next week, and the following week, in the remaining weeks of the season, you got to bottle up nights like this and just cherish and enjoy and absorb in all of the content and watch the goals and watch the post-match and do a rewatch. You got to take it in, inject it, enjoy it. Dave says, we're just a different beast in Europe. Louis says, the team is special. The building blocks are fully there now. The time is coming. Vlad's just excited. Rofikov says, what a night, FK. Nawaz, my man, it's good to hear from you. And thanks for your message on WhatsApp on the way home. I hope you enjoyed that tonight, brother, because that was a special night. I know you've been going to the Emirates for a long time. And that is what it's all about. Moy Adamar, welcome to the show. Declan Rice, so good we got him half price. I know, mate. We got him for a third of the price, a quarter of the price that we should have paid. Fantastic. Louis says, I'm so happy. I am so happy. Flip Docs just shouting, we should have got him half price. Vig says, yeah, look, it could have been, honestly, this is going to sound utterly ridiculous, but it could have been at least 4 or 5. Like, if it weren't for Thibaut Courtois' brilliance, the clearance off the line, I think it was from Alaba, the first half where we just couldn't connect with Saka's low drilled balls across the box. Could have been more. And I can't remember, apart from a deflected sort of shot that came off Saliba in towards Raya, an early chance from Mbappe. Mbappe did break through a couple of times. Mbappe's a frightening player. Every time he gets the ball at his feet, you feel like something's going to happen. But we just kept them at bay, and we defended so well. You're not dreaming, Rofikov. We beat Real Madrid by 3-0, and it could have been more. Dan Smith, welcome to the show. It's unbelievable. Beyond belief, he says. Mikey B says, I went to Disneyland tonight. How about you, FK? Oh, mate, you know what? When we scored the third, Mikel Merino smashing it home, I thought I died. Like, I think the first 2 goals, I was celebrating row 4 across sort of row 3 and 6 and hugging randoms. When Mikel Merino scored, because there was a little spat between him and Rudiger just moments before, I found myself in row 1. I was hugging this elderly lady who Elaine has a walking stick every game, and she sort of sat there, poor lady, and I've gone in for the hug. I'm at the doors of heaven, man. In that moment, wow. Moyad says, what a night. Rofikov says, no sleeping tonight. No way you're going to watch that. Greatest night ever, says V Vlad. Every single Arsenal player on that pitch gave a brilliant performance, says Flip Doc. Grumpy Doctor, welcome to the show. Hope you're not so grumpy anymore. It doesn't matter. Vinny, Troy, Deeney, Sydney Sweeney, Arsenal into. Vig says, best Emirates performance, in my honest opinion, hands down. I mean, listen, we've had some sensational nights and moments at the Emirates Stadium. And, you look back at the 2-1 over Barcelona. You look back at the spankings of Spurs. You look back at the Leeds, Thierry Henry coming out of sort of retirement to help us through in that cup game. You think about the Ozil to Welbeck last minute against Leicester at injury time. You think about the comeback against Liverpool when we were 2-0 down. The Mesut Ozil walking in a winter wonderland. We've had some sensational Bournemouth, the Reece Nelson, but this surpasses it all because Real Madrid are here and we have blown them away tonight. Josh, welcome to the show. I'm still on cloud 9. I'm feeling pure elation. I hope this feeling never ends. I really hope it doesn't. Rice Baby was brilliant. The Onyx Lens says, blimey. Legendary Night says, Frank Rants, welcome to the show. Evening all. KSSNYW. It's so good to see so many of you familiar faces in the chat because you deserve nights like this. We deserve nights like this. We've seen and followed this club in the time that this channel has been alive for 3-ish years now. We've seen us climb from 5th into 2nd and go for these title races. And look, we've not won anything. I understand all of that. But if you cannot enjoy tonight in isolation, this is the wrong sport for you. You have to take what you get. And we have to bottle up this feeling and just enjoy it and embrace it and cherish it. Oh my effing God, he says, FK. What a win. Tell us what it was like, mate. It was honestly sensational. One of the best nights I've ever had in supporting this club. And I've supported this club for a very long time, as you guys know. Joaquin Ampuero, hopefully I've pronounced your name right, says, incredible. After Bukayo's interview, I got the feeling that the team would win a game like this. What a game indeed. Of course, he was asked in that press conference about where he ranks. And he said he doesn't want to, like talking about that sort of stuff. He lets his football do the talking. And boy, did he do that tonight. I mean, look, I don't think Bukayo is anywhere near fully fit, but he had a really, really good game tonight. And so pleased to see him back to his best. Sab says, got the notification, had to come here straight. Getting no sleep tonight, FK. What a game. What a night. Thank you for that. Listen, it's an 8 p.m. kickoff. And by the time we got out, and I stayed to the very end, so many of you guys saw me on the televised coverage, which was brilliant. I got all the steals, the WhatsApp went mad. Had to stay the night and clap the whole team off. Like, the journey home was long, and then Yembele and I had to go and get Mbappe and I had to go and get a bite to eat. And I've come home, raced home, cobbled together these slides, which I'm about to bring on screen, but I can't explain to you the euphoria that's sort of pumping, racing through my veins at the moment. I'm on cloud 9. I'm absolutely on cloud 9, and I don't care that this is the only halftime in the quarterfinal. It's Real Madrid at the Emirates Stadium, and we've just battered them 3-0. Let's go, says Jerry Greenhouse. Welcome to the show. Geordie55 shouts, get in. I don't know what that name is, but pleasure to meet you today, Big FK. Can you believe it? We actually bossed Madrid. Is that J-Line? It is. J-Dime. It is so good to see you, man. J-Dime, for anybody wondering, it was working tonight as an Arsenal steward, and he came over and had the sort of courtesy to come and say hello, and we had an embrace, and it was really good to see you, man. And I appreciate all the kind words about Latte Firm. I'm so glad that you're tuning in tonight, man, and I'm so happy that you stopped to say hi. Johnny Wonderling, quick shout out to you, by the way. Thanks again, FK, for the opportunity to witness that great night for the Arsenal. We're all going all the way. Listen, Johnny, first of all, you are the star of the show in that you are so generous in supporting Latte Firm in terms of Patreon and membership. And of course, it was you who won the ticket to tonight's game. And I appreciate you turning up, and I appreciate you for supporting the channel, as I do appreciate all 55 of you who are supporting the channel now in terms of Patreon. It's a great community that we're growing there. I'm so grateful for all of your support and your kind donations. And of course, this is what the sixth ticket that we've given away as Patreon members, and there's going to be much more to come. But Johnny, I hope you've had a fantastic night and a safe journey back home, my friend. Paul James says, FK, what a night. My best memory at the Emirates was us destroying City 5-1, the City game. Of course, how have I missed that out? God, the City 5-1, that was sensational. That was only this season. That was mind-blowingly good. Gosh, this was totally off the scale, he says. I started crying after the third goal with joy. The stadium was electric. Mate, that's just so sweet to read. I really appreciate that you were crying with joy. Phenomenal. Gosh, the chat is chaos. But keep it up. I really appreciate it. Tava Ruiz, best compliment we can give Kivio is that we didn't miss Gabriel at all. We didn't. I'd have loved to have seen Gabriel out there tonight. Of course he would have. But Jakub Kivior, you have surpassed all of my expectations and you have served the club so well. And a shout for Kieran Tierney, guys and gals. Where's this come from? I mean, he's the most professional person we've got at the club. Head down, never complains, cracks on, and just gives his all. And he came on. And he did such a great job in terms of just fighting for Arsenal, fighting for the badge, helped us see the game out, never complains. What a pro Kieran Tierney is. Let me know in the chat what you think about Kieran Tierney. Every player was sensational tonight. Really, really pleased. Excuse me 1 second. I'm just going to put myself on mute while I blow my nose. 1 second. My apologies. Attractive that was. My apologies. Hay fever season, right? You guys know. You guys know. Josh says, yes, this was a dream Arsenal result that became reality. It's euphoric and shall be remembered forever. Donald says Arsenal had as many injuries as Real Madrid. When the Real Madrid team came out, I sort of turned to the people next to us and thought, Jesus Christ, these guys, this is why they are the best team in Europe, in the world, etc. The players they have in their team, on the bench, they were missing, 1 or 2 tonight, and they'll be missing 1 or 2 for that sort of return leg. But what a club they are! What a team! What a manager they've got! And what caliber they have! What pedigree they have in this competition! So absolutely phenomenal. V Vlad says, I think it was the best atmosphere I've ever witnessed at the Emirates. It made such a difference for you guys watching on TV. How did that sound? How did we sound? How did we come across? Let us know. 1111 says, absolutely magical evening. Seen you on TV, FK. Thank you for that. There was a moment, I think, when Declan Rice scored his second goal and the camera panned in on the North Bank and you just see me sort of clapping and then sort of mid going into just holding my head in disbelief. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Wayne's World 20, welcome to the show. For those of you that are wondering where was the phone in tonight, I mean, look, Wayne's probably still on his way home. We're going to do the phone in tomorrow night. After the other first legs, we will have the phone in of phone-ins. Remember, the only place you can get an Arsenal phone in on a match day or 24 hours after. Wayne says, unbelievable. My whole voice box is in pieces and migraine, but my God. Mate, when we scored our third goal, my head was throbbing like the headache of all headaches. It must be my old age. I lost it when Merino scored. Greg Horn says, had tears in my eyes. North London forever after the game on TV. Can't imagine, being there. Still can't believe it. It was absolutely extraordinary, the atmosphere tonight. It's what you live for. And that's what I mean by enjoying moments, enjoying nights, enjoying results in isolation like this tonight, because we deserve it and the journey that we are. Paul James says, fun facts, Arsenal have never lost when Saliba and Kivior have been starting centre-backs. Is that right? Real Madrid have never overturned a 3-goal deficit in the Champions League at the Bernabeu. Well, let's hope that record still remains intact after the second leg. I said to Yem afterwards, if there's one club you don't want to face in a return leg, even when you're 2-3, 4-0 up, it's probably Real Madrid. But listen, let's not look ahead too far. Let's just enjoy tonight. James Bond is in the house, says, come on, you Gunners. Wayne's coming back and said that second half was perfection. Absolute perfection. We've never seen anything like it. Look, keep the chat active. I'm going to bring up the slides as we normally do. Let's start by going into the lineup and just my thoughts. I mean, the headline's so sweet. Gunners blow Real away. And look at Declan Rice's celebration. This was a beautiful moment captured by the Arsenal club photographer. These images courtesy of Arsenal.com, of course. Now, going into the game, after the draw at Everton, And knowing that, we've got no striker, and knowing that Gabriel was going to be missing, because that was a real dagger to the heart in the last few days about him missing the rest of the season. I think most Arsenal fans would have been forgiven for being a little bit flat. Like, we were excited about the occasion. We're excited about Real Madrid coming. We're excited about it being the Champions League. But, when you're missing a talisman up front and you're missing Gabriel, who's been phenomenal alongside William Saliba, and you've got the sort of nervousness around Jakub Kiwior coming in. And let's face it, Jakub Kiwior's played brilliantly tonight. But he is third, fourth, fifth choice centre-back for a reason. And so I think you'd be forgiven for feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit cagey, maybe a little bit cautious or apprehensive about playing Real Madrid. And credit to anybody who was confident about us blowing them away. I mean, to be fair, we did the score predictions in Block 9 as we normally do, and most people were sort of saying, 1-1, maybe a 2-1 Real Madrid. I did sort of stick my neck out just to be different and say, look, I think we'll win it tonight, 2-1. Not sure about the two legs, but 3-0. Would never have predicted that. So the lineup, David Raya in goal, commanding, great, calm, composed performance in goal. Not really tested massively, made some very clean claims and catches in very important moments. Distribution was on point, stepped up and played that sort of left centre-back role as a sort of sweeper, as he does so often when we've got the ball at our feet, when we're trying to sort of start attacks. Phenomenal goalkeeper, and really pleased to see him just have a really nice, easy night in between the sticks. Kieran Tierney at right back. Look, we've sang his praises so much this season, but phenomenal performance again tonight. There was a moment in that first half, I want to say, where he went down. I think it was Mbappe who was running through on goal and sort of, crumpled Jurriën Timber, or demolished him as he sort of ran through on goal. And Timber took a little bit of time getting up, and I was nervous, but I was pleased to see him carry on. Saliba, phenomenal. The statement here is not, will Real Madrid buy Saliba? The statement here is, it's the other way around. Like, Saliba's got everything to win at Arsenal Football Club, and it's who are we taking from Real? Let's not get too carried away. Jakub Kiwior, phenomenal. He's probably not even played 5 times this season, but what a performance to come in on an occasion like this in a high-pressure game when you're coming in to replace Gabriel, who's been phenomenal and is a fan favourite. But Jakub Kiwior's coming in and displayed a very, very professional performance tonight and looked really composed on the ball. His passing's great. He always looks to play it forward. 1 or 2 sort of long ball attempts, calm, decent in the air. Look, Real Madrid aren't the most physical team. They're not the most aerially dominant, but I thought Jakub Kiwior did well. And the question again coming home, because Ben White came on at the death, does Mikel Arteta change things up for that second leg? Does maybe White come in and play alongside Saliba? That's what everyone was talking about before the game. But how can you not reward Kiwior with a second leg appearance after a performance like that tonight? Lewis Skelly, sensational, my man of the match. I know Declan Rice has just hit 2 top bins, but Lewis Skelly, as I've said at the start of the show, 18 years of age. Oh my God. What do we have on our hands here? I mean, it's frightening, the level of talent that he has. Thomas Partey, fantastic. Declan Rice, obviously mesmerising. The skipper, I thought, was a little flat in that first half, was much better in the second half. Obviously playing against his former club where he was released, where he didn't quite make it. Celebrate at the end, with a lot of enthusiasm. And I think he'd be pleased with his performance tonight. Good to see Odegaard back in the mix. Saka, we expected maybe an hour. 70 minutes, played really well first half. Like I said at the start, again, also at the show, that it was quite a controlled distribution out to Saka. Like, it wasn't like every attack, let's just get it down the right and just get the ball to Saka's feet. It was quite measured, quite controlled. He had his fullback on toast on several occasions, caused a couple of really dangerous moments in that first half. And that second time when he pinged the ball across the box, I don't think anyone expected him to get to the ball. So, you've got to follow through. Martinelli's got to do better than that, or whoever the attackers were at the time. Martinelli, of course, has looked bright in the last couple of games. Played okay tonight. Tried to be aggressive against his fullback. Ran at him a few times and got the better of him a few times with good crosses. But I like what I see. I can't complain. I'd like to see him on the score sheet a bit more often. But there we are. And Mikel Merino, we'll talk about him. He's the unsung hero. 6 goals now in 10 games for a midfielder who should not be anywhere near the front line. But he is performing at a level at the moment that none of us really expected, and he is the unsung hero. Look, he's not a centre forward by any stretch. He doesn't know what to do when he's got the ball at his feet and he wants to sort of run at defenders. He just can't do it. But when you see him off the ball, when you see him dropping into midfield, when you see him going for duels and trying to tackle and get the ball back for Arsenal, his work rate, phenomenal. So listen, 3-0 winners. The bench is looking slim, by the way. 2 goalkeepers in net for Neto and Setford. Tierney left back, White right back, Zinchenko left back, and then we've got Trossard, who was our only attacking option. Ethan Nwaneri, of course, was also there, but you've got Gower, Butler, Oyedeji, and Jorginho. Bench is a little bit thin for my liking. Got some work to do there in the summer. Donald says, I thought we came out the first half with 2 goals that we should have had. Well, that's right. That's my point. That is my point. We should have, could have scored more tonight, which is a ridiculous thing to say. Paul James says, give your some respect. I mean, I'm trying to. I hope you sort of appreciate that, unless you're talking to others in the chat. Charles Sherian says, I don't get it, honestly, but in a good way. Where was Declan Rice? Where was this Declan Rice all the time? Doing corner duties, so many big games passed by, so many mid games passed by. Lost for words by his 2 goals. Listen, not scored a direct free kick in 338 games, then 2 come along in 13 minutes. Phenomenal. MSR says, FK, brother, my celebrations after the goals have landed me in the doghouse, but we move. You need to earn your rewards, my friend. Enjoy the night in the doghouse. We will be there, I'm sure, for the second leg. Enjoy it, my man. Bukayo Saka left the pitch with Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, and Bellingham is the best player on the pitch. He is the standard. He is absolutely extraordinary, and he's not. He's nowhere. I don't even think he's in second gear. He's probably just in first gear tonight. I think that is the standard. That is the standard. Bukayo Saka is the standard, and he is comfortably our best player, England's best player, probably the second best player in the Premier League, just because of Mo Salah's ridiculous season. But then you think about Mo Salah, and he had the entire summer off, no international football, of course, and has carried Liverpool to where they are in the league at the moment, whereas Bukayo Saka has been playing in international tournaments since I can remember. Dan just says he's just at home still rewatching the free kicks. Mate, feel your boots, my friend. I'm glad that you've tuned into this, and I'm glad that you're watching Declan Rice free kicks on loop. The phone-in is tomorrow night. Rofikov says, FK, how many goosebumps tonight? Mate, it's a good thing I don't have any hair on my head, because it felt like I had hair on my head, just sort of upstanding. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Feels unreal, says Kofi. Unreal to be back on Latte Firm after smashing Real Madrid 3-0. Again, apologies to anybody who's just joined in recently and wondered where I'd gone. I had a family holiday and I missed the Fulham and the Everton games, and I just couldn't do any sort of content there. And it's great to be back and on a night like this, which is insane. We'll have a late night latte, of course, in the week. Rafael Kachinov, welcome to the show, says, FK, my partner and I caught you on the telly, looking class as always. Thank you for that, man. And thank you for tuning in. Anajit says, how great would it have been if Kieran Tierney would come off with an assist, or even better, a goal against Real Madrid? I mean, look, he might be saving himself for that second leg. Vig says, we need to talk about Jurrien Timber, one of the best signings we've made at the Emirates era. Ooh, that second bit's a bit of a claim. But the first bite, you're absolutely right. We need to talk about what this guy has been delivering for Arsenal, especially after such a long injury. He's been, without question, I think top 3, top 5 players for us this season, given what he's experienced at the club and the level of performance he's putting in, the maturity. And, Ben White sort of hovering in the background with returning to fitness. And I think Jurrien Timber has taken his game up a notch. And I don't think it's an easy decision who plays right back in the future. Bakary Lissania, welcome to the show. I was having a bit of a crisis of faith earlier, thinking the season was a wash, but this team, that game, I love it. I love it, he says. Mate, I'm not going to knock you for feeling that sort of crisis of faith, or feeling a little bit flat or nervous or dejected. I get it. Like, we have, all of our hopes, all of our ambition this season was to win the league, and we've been dealt such a bad deck of cards, a bad sort of hand this season, with all the injuries and with some of the decisions that have gone against us. And by the way, Arsblog did a great podcast with Ian Wright for half an hour just recently, and Ian Wright was talking about how he's falling out of love of the game and love, with all the decisions that have sort of been happening, particularly with the one at Goodison. But everything that's gone against us this season, it's heartbreaking. So I get it, man. Like, tonight has just surpassed every expectation, and there's a lot of life left in this dog. Check this out. What a mug. Hey, courtesy of Arsenal.com. If you want to head over there and pick up your mug for a tenner, it's an amazing purchase. Keep the chat active. We could tell it was loud, says Rory95. Watching from afar, says Flip Docket. The Emirates felt electric. Louis says TV sounded so loud, especially in that first half. The second half is still a blurry blur. Right, let's move on from this slide and talk through the goals. So, look, the first half, I've got to say, a tense affair. These images, by the way, how fabulous do they look? A tense affair. I thought we had the better moments, the better openings, potentially a couple of chances when the ball was whipped across that sort of box. Mbappe looked very dangerous on the break. Vinicius looked dangerous on the break. Wasn't so worried about sort of Modric, Camavinga. Obviously, Jude Bellingham's a talent, right? I mean, but yeah, we sort of controlled it. We were really in control tonight. But it did take half time to come, and it took a little bit of metal from a direct free kick from Declan Rice. And look, I think Declan Rice has been quoted as saying in his post-match interview that on both occasions, the coaching staff and Ødegaard and co were telling him to cross the ball. And I think it was Saka who was next to him, or Declan Rice said that Saka sort of looked at him and said, look, if you feel it, just finesse it into that goal. And Declan Rice certainly felt it, and he's twatted that first ball, that first free kick that you can see on screen. I mean, these pictures actually don't do it justice. The whip and the curl, the curve that he's got on that ball going round that wall into the net. He said he saw the positioning of Courtois. He said he saw there was a slight bit of space on that right-hand side of the wall, the bottom left picture there. And he's gone for it. And you can see the disbelief on some of the Arsenal players, like the reaction there. Look at that picture top right. Saliba. I mean, his celebrations are just so wonderful. Ødegaard, who's almost, disappointed that he's not crossed it, but he's gone against the manager's instructions. But they can't believe it. And the celebration there I think is quite iconic, where Declan Rice has sort of gone onto the advertising board and sort of stood there and given it the arms wide. Iconic celebration, iconic moment, and a great way to break his free kick duck. Like I say, 338 games in his career, never scored a direct free kick. And he has 2 in the space of 13 minutes, which is sensational. So 1-0 up, which was insane. MK Gulam Hus1 says, bend it like Deckham. Bend it like Declan is what I've basically put. Appalash, welcome to the show, says, Vinny who? And he says Timber was fabulous too. Kenny AFC says, put respect on Kivior's name. Confidence is football. I don't think I've disrespected Kivior. I'm trying to be honest and trying to be impartial with my takes. I think Kivior is obviously 3rd, 4th, 5th choice centre back for a reason. And when you don't play football regularly, to come into a lineup, into a game of this magnitude, it's not easy just to sort of turn it on and slot in. Paul James says his man of the match was Timber. He was faultless. Miles Lewis Skelly, the modern day Wilshere versus Barcelona performances, Adam Ali. I mean, it's not a bad shout. I thought he was head and shoulders above everyone tonight. I think he was the best player on the pitch, Miles Lewis Skelly, and that includes Real Madrid players. And he's 18, and he's been playing for Arsenal since September, 6 months. Think about that for a second. Just take that in. Miles Lewis Skelly has been playing football as a kid for Arsenal Football Club for 6 months. And he was head and shoulders the best player on that pitch tonight. Yembele said to me after the game, it was a real sort of test for Lewis Skelly coming up against Rodrigo. Mate, I think it's the other way around. It was a real test for Rodrigo coming up against Miles Lewis Skelly. Honestly, Lewis Skelly today, he has arrived. We've known it for a long time. The England fan base is now seeing it, but I think Europe's elite are now seeing what MLS is doing. MLS is a phenomenal. What a player. What a player. Dan says, FK, you're not being critical of Kivior. I just think they mean in general, speaking out to everyone. I hope so. I mean, look, he's not going to be a starter for Arsenal on a regular basis. I get that. But do you remember that image? I can't remember what game it was, but you had sort of Calafiori and Gabriel on the touchline, either injured or suspended or unused subs or whatever it was. And Kivior played. They both went up to Kivior and they were shaking him at full time as if like, go on, son. Do you remember that, chat? Do you remember that sort of moment? I think Jakub Kivior deserves all the flowers tonight because it was a great performance, and it was a performance that I, if I'm being honest, I didn't have it. I didn't think he had it in him. Paul James says MLS scored in the City 5-1 demolition and had an assist against Real Madrid in tonight's caning. And Vig says the second free kick was perfection, one of the best free kicks I have ever seen. So let's move on to that because the second free kick did come, and it was funny because wait, can you see me in the crowd there? Probably just there behind that right post. When this free kick was given, I saw Rice sort of eyeing up the goal, and I said to Yembele, nah, not again, surely not. And he just sort of tapped me on the shoulder and said, believe. And then he's twatted that ball top corner. And I mean, I had the best view in the house. I sit North Bank lower. I am literally 4 rows behind that right post on screen. And I've watched that ball in slow motion just come straight into the top corner. And the euphoria in the North Bank was inexplicable. I mean, there was a moment I sit in row 4. I was in row 3, row 2, ended up in row 6, 7, came back down to row 4, was probably inside out, upside down at one moment. It was utter pandemonium. And I think it's common knowledge that obviously we've not scored a free kick in about 84 years. 4 years maybe. Burnley away, is that the one? But what a free kick this was. And top bins KSSNYW. I mean, let's have a look at this. I know we got him half price, but look at that ball in that top left. Look, I mean, it couldn't have been any more perfect. Look at where that ball has gone in. And I mean, it's perfection. It is perfection. Quite an extraordinary strike. I don't know why my computer's beeping at me. Can you guys hear me still? I hope you guys can. By the way, there's hundreds of you watching live. I really appreciate you guys tuning into tonight's show. Please do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We normally get these done within about half an hour, but I'm going to go on a little bit. I feel like I need to. It's so nice to kind of relive it, having been in the stadium. But look at where that ball is. It is unbelievable, says KSSNYW. Dan says, oh my God. Goal of the season 1 and 2. And flipped up. This is a point that I said. No keeper in the world. You could have 3 goalkeepers in net, and not one of them is getting their hand to that. I mean, it is perfection. And if you guys have access to Amazon Prime Video Sport, whatever it's called on socials, watch the bit where they bring Declan Rice to the sort of desk that they've got pitch side, and they make him watch these again. And he talks about how he's not expected, how he couldn't remember it being that far out, and how he just sort of watches them again, and he's almost like in awe of what he's done. It's really nice. Thanks for confirming that you guys can hear me. I really appreciate that. Postage stamp, says Louis. I mean, for fuck's sake, I don't think you could hit it any more perfectly. If he did that, if he hit that free kick another 10 times, he probably wouldn't ping that as perfectly, even once. It is just sensational. And look at the joy on his face. Absolutely tremendous. Bakary says, I feel like you're allowed to go on a bit with this result. Yeah, I know. Colleen, welcome to the show. It is so nice to hear from you, my friend. Says, I will be watching those free kicks over and over in my dreams tonight. That is not a bad place to be, Colleen. That is not a bad place to be. Louis says, dusted the cobweb in that corner. What a free kick. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Has he had it in his locker all this time? Have clubs just not used Declan Rice on direct free kicks? What have we really spent the last 3-4 years trying to use Ødegaard to hit a free kick on target? And then Declan Rice comes along and does it like London Buses 2 in the space of a few minutes. I mean, what a couple of goals. Is a second free kick the best free kick I've seen this season? Probably. One of the best free kicks I've ever seen, maybe. Sheesh. Christophe Michel, welcome to the show. It can rarely be said that Courtois isn't tall enough. Josh says, I need a cold shower. For real. Mate, I might join you. Not obviously in your shower. That would be weird. But I might join you in terms of cold shower. I think I need to just cool down a little bit because we were hot tonight. We were cooking, and Real Madrid couldn't handle the spice. And can I just say on Real Madrid, after about 60 minutes, was that a 1-0? I think when did we score? 57, 58 minutes, something like that? The first goal? Real Madrid's legs had gone. Again, I don't know if you guys noticed that on TV or if it was even commented on. Not the heads didn't go, but physically they were shot. And I think this is something to bear in mind when we go out in that second leg, because the Premier League we know is physically the most demanding competition in world football. It is played at a speed and tempo and ferocity that no other league can rival. And the intensity that Real Madrid play most of their games is probably quite light touch. And they just couldn't handle it. Like 60, 62, 63 minutes all the way up to the full-time whistle. Physically, they were spent. They were gone. They were gone. And you could tell that we were the fitter team, the more, sort of endurance athlete type team. Physically, we were laying it on them all night. I really think if we can start tight and see out the first 15, 20 minutes at the Bernabeu next week, we can just run them down and they will tire. And I don't think they could handle our press. I don't think they could handle chasing us. We were moving the ball really quickly. I'd like to see us switch it to either flank a little bit quicker. Maybe we would with Gabriel pinging long balls or Ben White pinging long balls to either side. But I'm really pleased with what I saw. Physically, I thought we were much more superior than Real Madrid. And listen, match stats tonight, 53, 54% possession for Arsenal. We had 12 shots on goal, 11 of those on target. When was the last time we had so many of our shots on goal on target? Like, we looked really dangerous. I know the XG was only 1.55 or something, but I really liked so much of what we saw tonight from Arsenal. Flip Doc says they couldn't handle our press. Grumpy Doctor says 6:52 a.m. in Indonesia right now. I'm going to sleep at work. If you are indeed a doctor, I hope you don't sleep at work. But 6:52 a.m. in Indonesia, and the game finished, 2-3 hours ago. I commend you, my friend, for tuning into Latte Firm and listening to me drivel on about Arsenal. Bellingham, in his interview, said that they were lucky that it was just 3 goals. By the way, I haven't seen any of the post-match coverage, but if that's true, and you've got absolutely no reason to fabricate that. I think he's right. I think he's absolutely spot on. It could have been and probably should have been 4 or 5. If not for Thibaut Courtois' brilliant saves from Merino and Martinelli, and then the goal line clearance from I want to say it was Alaba. Someone correct me. I think it was Alaba. The first half, we had a couple of chances where the ball flashed across the goal, and maybe we could have connected on a different day. Maybe we do that and we score another. And I kept saying this, Jay Dime, man, my brother, you are so right. If we had a striker, FK, if Kai Havertz was in the team, if Gabriel Jesus was in the team, if we'd have had a Gyökeres up top or anyone, and Ollie Watkins, the damage could have been much more severe. But listen, we take what we have, we savor it, we cherish it, we enjoy it, and we live in the moment because it was absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. I did see this, Seedorf telling Rice to start manifesting winning the trophy. Louis, thank you for that. Listen, there's still a long way to go. And of course, the first legs aren't over yet. Who won the other one? Bayern? Did they beat Inter tonight? Aston Villa, of course, taking on PSG. The winner of that tie will play the winner of our tie. And then you start dreaming. But listen, there's still 4 massive 90 minutes to play if we have any hope or faith or prayer of winning this tournament. KSSMYW says, NFK, if we can do this Real Madrid, with a team held together by teenagers and a scotch tape, imagine what it would be like with a healthy team and a couple of strikers. Imagine, FK. It's exactly what I said walking out the ground. If this board goes out this summer with Signore Berta, if Big Bertie goes out and gets Mikel a proper centre forward, a proper wide player, a central defensive midfielder like Martin Zubimendi, and maybe another goalkeeper just for shits and giggles, right? Because that's what we do, and a left back. We could be serious next season. I mean, I'm still convinced we'd have won the league this year had we have not had the injuries that we've had, even with those PGMOL decisions and all that bullshit we've had to face. If we'd have kept all of our players fit, I think we'd have been clear. So I live in hope that next season we can win the lot. But there is still a lot of football to play this season. Flipdoc says, "Yep, 2-1 to Inter." Wow, that is a result that I wasn't expecting. I did see it was Inter 1-0, I think, at half time, but I think a lot of us, maybe it was announced in the stadium that Bayern had won that 2-1. So Inter have won that late 2-1. Of course, it's only half time, of course, so we will have to see what happens. But Dan says facing Inter in the final will be quite scary now that I think about it. Of course, they gave us a hard time earlier on this season. So 2-0 wasn't the end of it. We managed to get a third, and it was Mikel Merino. Look, 6 goals in 10 games for a makeshift striker. Let's not, mince our words here. Mikel Merino, I have been, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, I have not been convinced about him as a midfielder. I don't think he's the answer to our left 8 position. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly might have something to say about that in the future. But I don't think he's quite been that player. But ever since that Leicester game where he's just been asked to do a job and to do that to his best ability, and he's not a centre forward by any stretch, you can see that, you can tell that he gets the ball at his feet, he gets nervous, doesn't know where to run, doesn't know how to run, he's not aggressive enough at running towards his centre back, and it's not his fault. But what he does do, his off the ball work, his press, his duels, his tackles, his defensive work, and I know that's not the prime responsibility of a striker, but you have to commend it. His work is phenomenal, and there's something about Merino playing Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid he's not scored any. What am I trying to say? He scored more goals against Real Madrid than he has in any other club. So there's something there. But look, 6 goals in 10 games for Mikel Merino. There's strikers in the game, ladies and gents, that would be proud of that sort of return. And I think we just have to hold our hats off. What am I saying? What is it? 1 a.m. in the morning. I think we have to doff our cap to someone who's just working tirelessly for the team. And I don't know if he's going to be a first teamer next year, or a starting 11 sort of player. But he's just working so hard, and he got his rewards. And those of you that might have seen from the North Bank lower, I think just moments before that there was a spat between him and Rudiger. Rudiger pushed him to the ground, and that should have been an obvious yellow card, by the way. I was gobsmacked that wasn't given, and of course Rudiger would have missed a second leg for that, but he pushed Merino in the chest. Merino fell over theatrically, made the most of it. But then once Rudiger got away with that decision, there was words and some messaging and some sort of, Rudiger was giving Merino the evils. And it was just moments later when Merino smashed it home from an MLS cross from that left-hand side. And I really wanted Merino to go into Rudiger's face and give it the big, but he's just done his class thing, and he's gone and celebrated in respect of his dad, the little corner flag routine that he has. But that's 6 goals in 10 games. It's a great return. I mean, we joked about the R9 resurrection. He's obviously not quite there, but what a goal. What a goal. Merino says Silver Race 99. Grumpy Doc says we're calling Merino Juan Percy from now on. Michael Harris, welcome to the show. Evening FK caught you on TV with your head in your hands when you realised that Saka was subbed off. Hopefully just a knock. What an effing night. I mean, yeah, actually, I think it was that. There were a couple of moments where I had my head in my hands when Declan Rice scored the second. And when Saka went down, that's when I just got nervous. I was one of the first to spot it in the block, and everyone was so jubilant about the position at the time of the game. And I was like, no, Saka, please. Saka's like my son. And when he goes down with an injury, it really hurts. And I was nervous about that. But yeah, I'm just glad he's all right. Philip says, yes, lads and lasses. Louis says they didn't show the replay on the TV of that, and that's the Merino Rudiger spat, but it was there, and it was very, very frustrating at the time. Rudiger definitely deserved the yellow card. I mean, look, what else can you say about Mikel Merino? He works hard, he gives it his best, and he's just a phenomenal squad player. And like I said at the very start of the show, when we're going through the lineup, Kieran Tierney, him coming off the bench, just wholesome. There's nothing more I can say about it. I really wish that Kieran Tierney had a different career trajectory at Arsenal. But the game, the club, our play sort of evolved past him, and credit to him for not kicking up a fuss, for keeping out of the media, for being a model professional. And every time he's called upon, whether it's 5 minutes out on the left flank, whether it's 2 minutes being left back, whether it's coming and just shoring up the midfield or playing left centre back, I'm so bloody happy for Kieran Tierney. And you know what? He is one of the game's good guys. He's one of the club's good guys. He's come on. He respects the badge. He respects the club. He respects the competition, and he just does what he's asked. And he's had a career hampered with injury, and it hasn't worked out for him at Arsenal in terms of being a first team sort of regular. But I'm just super happy for him, and he will leave whenever that is with his head held mightily high. He is setting the example for a lot of these youngsters, and he's setting the example, I think, for the modern day footballer. People, we need more Kieran Tierneys in this world. We need more Kieran Tierneys in football. That's my opinion of him. Vlad says, can never hate on KT. Always been a model pro. Leo, welcome to the show. Says, going to be sad to see him go. Hope he's great for Celtic. Of course, that is where he ends up. He was close to a move to Celtic in January, but I think Arsenal decided to keep him because of Mikel Arteta's penchant for left backs. The Spiz says, I'm so happy for KT. I hope he can stay fit for the rest of his career. You and me both, my man. And Rudy Fizzle. I love these names. KT goes to his beloved Celtic as an Arsenal stalwart. I mean, I've got nothing bad to say about Tierney. Nothing bad to say about him at all. Model pro, really pleased. One of the most respected professional players at the club, says Flip Doc. I think we can end it there, ladies and gents, boys and girls, because there's a lot of content on socials that I need to catch up on. But I listen, I'm so grateful for all of you tuning in, making time to tune in on a now Wednesday morning. It's 1 a.m. and there's still hundreds of you watching live. Please do leave a like on the video before you go and subscribe if you're new and get all that sort of stuff sorted. Thanks for keeping the chat so active. Thank you to all the Patreon members now. The community is phenomenal. And Johnny Wonderling for winning the ticket for tonight's game. Like I say, if you're part of that community, it is not about making money. It's about covering costs, and the costs are going up in terms of running channels. It is about rewarding you guys with things that maybe you don't have access to, like match tickets, like vouchers to Arsenal.com, and many other prizes. The bigger that community gets, the better it is going to become. We will be back with the post-match phone-in tomorrow night after the completion of all the first legs. So join Wayne and I for that. And we'll do a late night latte in the week. Let's look back and reminisce about this game, because that's what this game deserves. So my closing thoughts on this are, it doesn't matter what happens in the second leg. It doesn't matter what happens this weekend. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. It doesn't matter what happens at the end of this season. What matters is that we enjoy and celebrate and recognize the performance that the team have put in on a night like this, because nights like this are there to be cherished and to be savored, and they are going into my memory as just the most phenomenal evening. So thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate it. Good night, bro, says Josh. The Spiz says, night, FK. What a great day. Come on, you Gunners. Vive says, cheers, FK. It was a brilliant, as always, soak in all the content possible tomorrow. What a night. Come on, you Gunners. Take care. Thank you, Jay Dime, for saying hello again. Johnny Wonderling still watching. Thank you for that. Still excited. Won't be able to sleep, he says. Guys, it's NYW. Good night, FK. Another great stream. Thank you, man. What a win. Come on, you Gunners. A big love and peace to everybody. And, of course, like and sub if you enjoy the content. Wow, Flip Doc, best Arsenal content creator on YouTube. I'll take that, mate. I'll take that. I really appreciate that. There are some phenomenally good content creators out there. It's just great to be recognized and great to have you guys here. So listen, we'll leave it there. Until next time, look after yourselves. Enjoy the win. Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 0. Bye for now.